I'm Mark Stewart Greenstein, candidate for Connecticut governor. I am an IED, an increasingly embarrassed Democrat. I am still a registered Democrat, and I would like to see Democrats flourish if they are reasonable. The leftists are not, and our leaders too often ally with leftists. I'm here to move the party closer to the center, and in the process, be a separate party if the Democrats won't have me. We have our own party. It's called AMIGO, Americans for Minimal Government. And in true minimal government fashion, I want to explain a lot of my responses to the NRA inquiry that I just filled out. Okay, a lot of these are asking candidates whether they agree with legislation that will. I disagree with most legislation because the power of the law ultimately is the power of the gun against you, the innocent American. Laws should be made with so much circumspection, used so infrequently, because otherwise they are affecting too many people badly and giving individual prosecutors and police far more power than they should have. The best power for us to defend ourselves is the power of all of us to, if we see something, say something, to be vigilant about what our neighbors might be doing that has or could cause mayhem, and to have the collective security that good guys with guns yields. So my positions here are pretty strident. The NRA will like me. I am an NRA member. But everyone should like me, because I espouse people who will defend you if you are in a pinch. It's not the police that are going to get there in time. It's going to be good guys with weapons available, trained in their use, to pick off the marauder and just maybe deter that mayhem in the first place. Guns deter. There's no question about it. Look, why have all the mass shootings been in gun-free zones? Because there's no deterrent. Correspondingly, why don't we see a single mass shooting in a police precinct? Because they're armed. And even the mentally challenged, the mayhem-infused guy knows that he ain't gonna get far. He's not gonna commit his act without being gunned down first. Good guys with guns, in abundance, protects everyone. I feel very safe when I go to a CCDL meeting and the majority of them are packing. You can be very safe at a CCDL meeting with lots of people there carrying weapons because they're not intent on mayhem, because they're trained and they're not criminally bent. The state can't be as good of a protector as the rest of us, in part because the state can't be moral. Can the state be competent? Maybe. The people that we elect and the bureaucrats that get nominated, I don't think they're any wiser than the rest of us. I don't contend they're any more moral. Some of them are more knowledgeable, yes. But that knowledge gets diluted by political wranglings, the compromises they make to keep their jobs or enhance themselves with lobbyists around them. Representatives and bureaucrats making laws endanger us, and that's why I am foursquare against more and more state regulation of guns. Our Second Amendment is best protected not by the state, but by reverence for the Constitution. Ladies and gentlemen, the police and the military are the best state employees because for them, lives are on the line. Other people's and their own. For them, it's not just a job, it's a calling. For almost everybody else in state government, I'm not as confident. And look, it fails us routinely. Okay? Parkland, Florida, was a total mess in terms of what the police knew, what the FBI knew, what the school itself knew. All government agencies. And you want us to entrust ourselves to government agencies? I'm sorry, no. In essence, the best defense against a mass mayhem, bad guys coming into a school or a hospital, are good guys with guns. The best defense against a home invader is your own weaponry. The best defense against tyranny is the mass of citizens. We once called them a militia. It's the same thing. The concept of owning weapons for your own defense. And that tyranny is one of the two reasons why the Second Amendment exists. That the government itself, if it is the sole possessor of weapons, makes tyranny against everybody else easy. And I would go beyond guns. I believe that people have the right to defend themselves with any defensive weapon if there's credible evidence that the government is plotting against you. If we know that there is a scheme, thank goodness we haven't heard of one, but if there were a scheme by the federal government to bomb homes of people that they didn't agree with, you have the right to have a surface-to-air missile. If there were a scheme to roll tanks onto people's property, you have the right to possess anti-tank weapons. That's how we defend freedom and prevent tyranny. Let me go to 3 of the pieces in here to elaborate just a little bit. Actually 4. Number 3 says, do you support state legislation banning the manufacture, possession, ownership, purchase, sale, and or transfer of any firearm? Answer is D. I oppose banning any of these. Look, if you're successful in banning even the supposedly heinous AR-15s, it's symbolic. Symbolic. Because criminals don't pay attention to the law. Criminals are able to turn things into legal devices, okay? A twist there of a banned weapon and suddenly it's not banned. And even if they are toting a banned weapon, do they really care? They're about to commit mayhem against several people. Do they care that there might be a $1,500 fine for not registering your equipment? Don't think so. If you pass that kind of legislation, it is symbolic only. Don't feel secure. You will have a false sense of security. And remember, your defense isn't just against people with guns. Because maniacal people can kill with knives. Maniacal people can take a bag over one person's head and suffocate him. A couple guys wielding knives can take 1 or 2 daughters away to be molested or raped. The best defense are trained people with guns, and that should be more of us. I'm Mark Stewart. Thank you for listening.